Hi everyone, welcome to the EPI-USE HR Streamlining Your HR and Payroll webinar. We are so excited to have you here today. We are about to launch an incredible app that has been developed to give you access to a solution that will finally solve some of the most common HR and payroll problems we hear in the market. With me today, I have Luke Visser and Studi Pathania. Hi, Luke. Hi, Studi.
Hi,
I'm Lucy
Lucy.
McAndrew. Hi there. I'm Lucy, and I'm the delivery lead for EPI-USE in Australia. Studi is based in Australia. She's the EPI-USE associate partner, and Luke is based in Australia as well, in Brisbane, and he is our senior architect working on this app and the EPI-USE People Solutions and solution. So really excited again to see you all. Any questions you have during this session, pop them in the chat and we'll get to them toward the end of the session. And other than that, it's over to you, Studi. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucy. Thank you for the warm introduction. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us today. My name is Tuti Patania, and I'm, like Lucy said, an associate partner here at EPI-USE. I've had about over 12 years of combined experience with SAP HCM and success factors, and I'm passionate about helping organizations leverage SAP to drive their HR transformation and create an impactful, scalable solution. Just introducing EPI-USE. EPI-USE is world's largest and most experienced independent SAP HR payroll specialist, and it has emerged as a leader in delivering HR payroll systems. Broadly, EPI-USE is a part of Group Elephant and has its roots in HR and payroll, and hence why we are here and very excited to welcome you to our Streamlining Your HR Payroll Systems webinar. Our group is characterized by a very primary strategic initiative, which is a pun on the word ERP, which stands for Elephants, Rhinos, and People. It is an initiative that goes beyond corporate purpose, and it is focused on the conservation of elephants and rhinos through the alleviation of poverty in southern Africa. 1% of our group's revenue goes towards this cause. Along with this imperative initiative, the group has emerged with a strong reputation around the globe, cost effectively addressing technology based challenges, especially in the HR space, from organizations small, mid sized to large, complex multinational organizations. And hence why we are here today to talk to you and help you. But that was about us. Let's hear from you. We would like to hear from you. What are your current challenges? What are you facing? And how then we can sort of talk about actionable insights that would really help you in dealing with HR challenges that are faced by any organization, but specifically and unique to the mid-sized organizations. Um, so you can see this Mentimeter on your screens now. If you can pull your phones out and scan the QR code, you will be able to see certain questions. If you can pop in the answers, they should appear in a word cloud here on the screen, and we will talk from there. So, what are some of your most common HR payroll pain points? And what do you experience every single day in your jobs? We'll wait for some of the responses to come through. And as they pop up, no single source of truth. Heard it so many times, and we all face it every single day when we talk to so many of our customers. Data integrity. Look, we have a sort of a theme coming up. Data is big for all our organizations. Compliance, disconnected systems, admin tasks. Absolutely. All these things we live and breathe every single day. Poor wording in an agreement. Correct. Why not? Great. Just just looking at some of these challenges, um, what do we see in here? The shift. and I can see they were still getting some answers. I'll wait for another 30 seconds before I move on. But in terms of single source of truth in disparate systems, we have so many organizations we talk to every single day, and we hear things like, oh, we don't even know how many employees we have because we have so many different sources of truths that we can't really bring it all together. We are here today to sort of help you come up with a solution which is simple but can give you solutions to all those problems. Data. We would hear Luke later talk about how data is important and how we can sort of help you streamline that as well. Um, Reporting. That's amazing. Great. Thank you. Thanks, Lucy. Um, Look, based on all these different challenges that we saw today, the shift in the workplace that we've seen has been the most profound in the past 100 years or so, over a century. Now, we were all not there 100 years ago, but we were all here 5 years ago. And each one of us has seen, experienced, and we are living that change that the post pandemic era has created for all of us. Every single organization has been forced to rethink the way they're engaging talent, the way they're looking at different sort of retaining talent, the digital transformation, all those uh, sort of issues we saw on the screen, how every single source of truth has become more and more important now because we are working remotely in remote fashion. And how are we trying to attract and retain top talent? Employees' mental health and well being has become a challenge. Someone very correctly in that Mentimeter said the ever changing compliance and regulatory challenges, limited resource and scalability needs. And at the heart of all of this is the HR or of the organizations. It's us people who are there every single day trying to navigate these constantly changing dynamic work landscape and making sure that we still have an engaged workforce. And all of these challenges can be very overwhelming, and kind of get stuck in this very busy cycle of work, but you do want to have effective solutions. And for mid-sized organization, these challenges are unique. Although you're mid-sized, but you're big enough to need an advanced HR system, and often limited, but you're often limited by your time and resources and need and the bandwidth to really implement this. And so this is where we come in, and this is where EPI-USE People Solutions comes in. As an organization, as you heard me talk before, we are deeply committed to giving back to the society. And with this commitment woven into our DNA, a few years ago, we sat down together and we talked to ourselves and went, we have been doing this for over 40 years now, implementing SAP solutions. How can we simplify things for our customers, particularly those in the mid-sized to growth market areas? These businesses could greatly benefit from best practices and proven processes all across various industries. And from this vision, our People Solutions offering was born. Our People Solutions supports businesses in rapidly adopting leading practices and processes powered by success factors. EPIU's People Solutions has also been qualified by SAP Success Factors, and the solution is based on our expertise across a full suite of Success Factors modules, inclusive of country specific features. Our clients have the flexibility to deploy any packages or group of packages that makes the most sense for your organizations. It allows clients to implement success factors with a reduced risk and a predictable outcome. What you see on your screens right now is just a snippet of what our People Solutions looks like. And this is a completely scalable solution for any organizations of any size in any industry. Now, you're hearing me talk and you're going, you might be thinking, sure, this looks impressive, but you just said it yourselves before, we just don't have the time or the resources or something like SAP. And we get it, we understand. SAP has traditionally been seen as a solution for large corporations with complex and extensive setups. That's a common perception. But today, we are here to challenge that idea. That is exactly why we are here. And as EPIUs, we understand the unique needs of the mid-sized organizations. And you want a robust, scalable, but a simple solution, and that really respects your bandwidth, your time, your resources. And that's exactly why we have developed our starter app powered by SAP SuccessFactors. This solution is designed specifically to bring power and capabilities of SAP to growing organizations quickly, flexibly, and affordably. Now, I would like to hand over to Luke Visser, our senior architect, who will walk you through this innovative app and show how it's tailored to meet your needs in this mid-sized businesses like yours. Thank you, Luke. Over to you.
Thank you, Stuti, and thanks for that lovely introduction. Good morning, all. My name's Luke, as Lucy and Stuti have mentioned. So I'm a senior solution architect with EPI-USE. I've been with the group for about 20 years, and I have the exciting job of showing you our starter app, and hopefully you get excited about it, because I think it is quite an impressive app to get you started on the people solution. So as you can see, I mean, the people solution comes pre-delivered, pre-built, with processes and configuration already set up and defined. But what it needs is the underlying data. So it needs to know a little bit about yourself. And I relate the people solution and the starter app to a bit like when you get a new laptop and you open up your Microsoft Word for the very first time. The first thing that pops up is just ask you to tell it a little bit about yourself. So who you are, who you work for, etc. And then you're pretty much ready to go. And I think that's what we're trying to do in terms of the activation app. So what are the key objectives, I guess, of the starter application? It's really designed to be completed by HR or anybody in that matter. It's not an IT tool. It follows a very precise step-by-step process with instructions on Steam to really simplify the process of how you can kind of tailor the people solution to your organization. So, there's a bit of information, I guess, that it requires to get it going. And then secondly, it also requires a bit of information about your employees in terms of who they are. So this will take you through the process of building your organization and support you in loading your data into the system. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and show you the app. Okay, so the activation app or starter app is launched just based on a URL. It's connected to the back end of your people solution. And as you can see, there's a couple of steps that you have to complete in order to onboard, I guess, your organization into the people solution. It all starts with using the first step, which is really building your organization. Now, I have already completed this step, and I'll explain that to you a little bit later, but I will take you through it anyway, just to show you the steps that you go through as part of building your organization, to load that into SuccessFactors. Okay, for every step, there is inbuilt help. So for every step that you go through, you can always toggle the help switch. There's also the ability to manually input the data, or you can import it from a file as well. So very easy. So if there's a large bit of data that you need to obviously load, you can do that via a file, but otherwise you can go ahead and just manually type that into the screen as you go through the steps. It is a step-by-step guide. So we start off by really defining who you are as an organization. So what's my organization name? This could be, also defined, I guess, as your legal entity, but you really just give it your name and decide, where you're based from a location point of view. You then have the ability to go and add as many locations as you'd like. So giving it a location name, time zone, address, postcodes, etc. So capture all the information that you need to be able to define the locations of where your workforce or where your employees will be based. You then go through in terms of setting up your chart of accounts. So these are really your cost centers. So again, the ability to define your cost centers, give them a name, associate them to a company, and then obviously define them, by a unique ID or a cost center code. We then have the ability to build our organizational chart. So starting again at the highest level, it brings through what the company name is. You then have the ability to define levels underneath that. So in a very simplistic way, you're really going about setting up the people solutions, but in a very user-friendly way, as you can see. We then have the ability to specify work schedules. The other really key thing about this is with the pre-configured solution, we already have the banks established or configured within the system. So there's really no need, to come and enter the banks already, and you have the ability to pull that directly from the system already as part of that. You then continue to go through that. It's already mobile enabled as well. So as part of the people solutions, we have the ability to toggle some of the mobile features on and off, which is really key as well. And then once we've done all of that, we just go ahead and review it, which is a stage that we're at. And if we're happy with all of that, we simply submit that. What that then goes and does is it actually goes and pre-populates the SuccessFactors or people solution with the config that you've defined or set up as part of your organization. And that's already configured for you within the system. So no having to go in, wonder where to go to in terms of setting all of that up. It already goes and does all of that for you, and off you go. You then have the ability to go through a number of other settings. Now, as Studi mentioned, the people solution comes with a number of packages. So depending on the, I guess, the packages that you want in, if you were interested in some more talent related processes as well, you have the ability to obviously set or define some of that up as part of the starter app as well. Applying your theme, this is a very basic concept, but being able to specify or define how you'd like the people solution to look, so bringing your brand and your flavor into the solution is obviously always important. So the ability to upload a logo, set some background images, and obviously set some of your primary and secondary color themes. So again, all done just from the app itself from a setup perspective. So once that's all good and well, the data is now set up within, we then have what we call the data migration assistant. Now the data migration assistant becomes active once all the configuration has been obviously updated and applied to your people solution instance. And that's why I did that ahead of the time, just because it takes a little bit of time for it to obviously go and update the information or the config about your organization in the people solution before the data migration assistant becomes available. Why that is important is because the data migration assistant does online real-time validations to ensure that the data you're entering aligns to the setup that's been, or the config that's been associated to the people solution that you've entered. So it's really important that as you're going through this, it can do certain validations to ensure that when the data is loaded, it's correct and it's accurate. Okay, so the data migration assistant has got two components. Firstly, there's the ability to download the template. So I'll take you through the template now, and once you've obviously populated that, you upload it and we go through a validation process in terms of validating whether the data is correct and what we've selected. But let me show you the upload template because I think it's really awesome how it does the validation, and you'll see that it actually pulls the config out of the setup that we've already gone through. So it allows you to actually see that. So I'll quickly go to the Excel. Now it's an Excel template, which makes it very easy to complete. So as you can see, it's comprised of 3 pages or 3 tabs. So the mandatory one is really the employee master data, which really captures all the information about your employees. Obviously, if there are any payments or deductions that we're setting up, we can go through that tab as well. But just to quickly show you, so the master tab is quite an extensive Excel sheet. But what it really does is wherever we have information that we need to populate, it pulls the actual data out of the people solution. So it allows you to do the lookups or see the values that need to be entered, I guess, as part of the sheet. So as you're going through that, you have the ability to go and look up to see what the codes or the text is required. So as part of the validation process, you can enter or capture the data correctly at the first point of entering it. For every one of the fields, you'll see that if there's a required format, it specifies that, and also whether the field itself is required, or not required from a data entry perspective. So you can simply go ahead, fill in the sheet. It provides you with instructions of where you need to enter in certain values. For example, if you're setting up your, you're capturing your employees, your job title as a CEO who may not have a manager as such. You put in or enter in the text no manager, obviously associate that as part of that role. But as you can see, it captures all the information in quite significant detail, which is really good. And where there are required fields, you have the ability to, to enter that or look up the value that's needed. So if I go back to the actual app, I'm going to go ahead and do the upload now because I've pre-populated that. So let's choose the file. Click the upload. Okay, so what you'll see is it actually breaks. If you know anything about SAP and SuccessFactors, I guess, as we've mentioned, it can be a really complex process to load your data into the system. And that's because it's generally made up of a number of steps and, different components, different places you need to go to in order to load. What this does is it actually breaks all the data up as part of that sheet, into the various portlets that it needs to go into. And then it will also highlight for you, where you have some validation errors. So you can see that our job info has got some validation errors. So when I click that, you can see the data that's being brought through from the sheet that I've pre-populated. But what I haven't done is actually gone and selected or added this data as part of the sheet that I pre-populated. So I can simply come in now, select the data, and as you can see, it's brought in all the information that I've captured, I guess, as part of the building your organization step. Now I have the ability to quickly come in and validate and select the data, correct it as need be. Where we haven't done that, it obviously, like I said, it goes and pulls all the information that's already pre-configured as part of the people solution and allows you to then make that selection as part of this as well. You also have the ability to download the full list of errors. So again, if you want to do the validation offline back in the Excel sheet, you have the ability to do that. Or once you've corrected it online, you simply can validate the changes again. And hit the upload button. So the really key thing is, I guess, the data migration validates on screen. It does all the hard work in terms of breaking the information up into the various portlets that they need to be loaded into from the people solution. And it really is, a very straightforward, simple approach to configuring or adding your data to the people solution. So I'm going to hand over back to Lucy and Studi to talk to you more. Thank you.
Thanks, Luke. That was incredible. And like I said before, we're wanting to make sure that you were able to implement this solution with the least amount of effort and give you the most amount of benefits of SAP SuccessFactors. Also knowing that this is completely flexible and scalable. This app has been tried and tested over in the Europe and has been a huge success. And we are here and launching this here and now today to this region. This app is based on our people solutions. And our people solutions, like I said before, is based on a whole lot of industry specific practices and best practices that you can sort of adopt instead of having to adapt. You really adopt it. And don't take our word for it, take our customers' word for it. And Lucy will now just play you a small snippet of a talk from one of our customers who implemented our people solutions and what they've got to say about it. Over to you, Lucy. Thank you.
Last year, we went through an extensive selection process and we created a long list of about 7 products. We did a top-line review of them, did a few demos and got really clear on what we were wanting. From there, we shortlisted 3 products. SAP SuccessFactors weren't actually a part of our original shortlist. We just simply didn't think that it would be affordable against our needs, given it was a top-tier product. Then we did find ourselves in an interesting situation where 3 of the shortlisted providers either didn't meet our needs or they just didn't feel like the right fit for our business. I'd worked with SAP SuccessFactors in a previous organisation. I thought we needed something like SAP and had confidence in the product, but not in the price. I'd seen big organisations adopt fully customised builds and just assumed it was unaffordable. We inquired about SAP and were pleasantly surprised that they had a plug and play option, which was competitively priced and a superior product. We aspire to be an employer of choice and great place to work. We believe fulfilling this aspiration begins with recruitment. We want new employees to have a consistent experience where they can easily interact with us and access information that they need when they join us. The careers site driven from SuccessFactors will be a great artefact for who we are and what we stand for. Further to this, we want a consistently positive onboarding experience where employees get up to speed as quickly as possible and feel a sense of belonging. Our existing employees are the biggest advocates for our business. The SuccessFactors platform enables a positive experience through timely employee self-service, giving them a sense of control and shared visibility of goals, development plans, and talent aspirations with their manager.
We're expecting to see an increase in employee engagement through less waiting time, employees having more control over their own data, and managers having more control over the processes such as recruitment, onboarding, and performance management. We expect better workforce planning capability, greater training compliance, and far less risk around visa and qualification management. We expect less errors that can be driven by automation, and we really can't wait for touch of a button data.
Growth and change sums up our future. SAP SuccessFactors will be an intelligent tool that drives data and processes and predictive analytics in the future. This will allow us humans to focus our time on attracting and retaining great people while setting a tone of professionalism and care within the wine industry.
Thanks, Lucy. And as you heard from our customers at Endeavon, this is exactly how we'd like to help you and your organizations as well to achieve an outcome that is predictable, less risk prone, and affordable. Have you got any questions on the chat that we can now respond to? Lucy?
We do, Study. We have a question.
Great.
Carly's interested to understand how the platform is supported and licensed, given it is powered by SuccessFactors. Are both SAP and EPI-USE subscription required?
So the licenses are predominantly through SAP. There are various different licensing models available to customers and clients. And once you've decided to go down that path, there would be a license for the product itself, and then the implementation that sits on top of it. But because it is for the, as we said before, as it is a mid-market, mid-sized organizations, these sort of subscriptions and licenses are affordable and are very competitive in the market, as you even heard from Abby before at Endeavon. Hope this answers your question. Any other questions?
I think too we can give a feel for the implementation time and effort study based on this approach.
Yes, absolutely. So in terms of the starter app and our people solutions plug and play, it is deployed within a shorter time frame. It absolutely depends on your data needs and how big your organization is. But if you look at our app and our people solutions, we are talking about anywhere between 8 to 12 weeks before you can really have a live system to use, which is incredible given the scale and size and the sophistication of SAP SuccessFactors. Any other questions, Lucy?
Yes, we have there is Not at this stage. There's no other questions. Would anyone like
Great.
to log any more questions? No, I think that's they're the only questions, Dottie. Thanks.
But thank you so much, and thank you for joining us today. I'll hand over to Lucy to now close the session, but if you have any questions, we are always here to answer them. Thank you.
Thanks, Dottie. Thanks, everyone. We're really happy and thankful that you could join us today. For anyone who'd like to have a one-on-one demo of the solution, then please don't hesitate to reach out. We have a representative here in both, we have one in New Zealand, her name is Brenda Owens. If you reach out to Brenda, if you're based in New Zealand, or myself in Australia, we'd be more than happy to take you through anything you saw today that was of interest, and talk through any of the HR payroll concerns you have and find a solution, because really that is what EPI-USE is here to do, to solve your problems in the HR payroll space. But again, thank you for joining us. We'll send a follow-up email so that we can stay in touch, and we really valued your time today. Thanks, everyone.